Welcome to the DramaKueen Perspective, a podcast designed to empower, inspire, educate, and entertain. DramaKueen is a philanthropist, educator, business owner, poet, and performer. So you know you will be entertained. Find out what's trending. Get a thumbs up or thumbs down on the hottest restaurants, places, and things. And find out ways to help your business grow. And much, much more. Without further ado, here is your host, DramaKueen.
What's up? It's your girl DramaKueen coming to you with another podcast episode. Now, this podcast episode is going to be a little different. I watch the comments that come in on my YouTube page and I try to respond at least once a month to the comments, but there is a comment thread that is going on my YouTube that I said, you know what, I'm not going to respond via words. I'm going to actually record a podcast episode about this very topic that has been brought up. And I will do this occasionally if there are comments, concerns, conversations about one particular topic that people are honing in on. Then I decide that, hey, you know what, it's time to talk about it. And so today, I want to talk about a particular comment or comments that are being made in my YouTube comments about something that happened on 60 Days In. Now, before I read some of these comments, this is something that I noticed that I felt being a participant and not knowing what other participants went through. And then to see it as a spectator or fan, I felt it even more. And several people have asked me since 60 Days aired in January of 2020, what is up with this? So I want to take a moment and I want to talk about it and lend my perspective. So someone wrote on my YouTube page on one of my videos, one that bothered me was when Ashley gave the emergency distress signal and she came in and was talking about personal things and was crying. I believe about the incident where she was left naked. They let her say what she wanted and let her vent out her frustrations. But when you gave the signal and came in there to vent your frustrations, they said it's not a real emergency and the signal is only for emergencies and shooed you off. Why did they treat you and Ashley differently, especially regarding that? Okay, so let me read someone else's response before I dive into my different two schools of thoughts. So then someone else said, oh my God, yes. Except I noticed it when Alex gave the signal right after Shanese in that same episode. And he was just chilling in his cell and there was no emergency, but he was treated entirely differently. But let's be real. The only emergency was Ashley being discovered as a cop, but she didn't give a signal for that. So there were no real emergencies that we saw prior to that. But Shanese was given the absolute heave-ho for no real reason. Let's talk about it. So there were times when I was in there that really just a couple times that I gave the signal that I felt the same exact way that you're saying, like they were being dismissive, they were being rude. Well, you know this is for real emergencies, right? I cannot remember because I left to shoot 60 Days In Season 6 on April the 27th, 2019. So some of this stuff is still a little fuzzy for me. Excuse me, but I don't remember which situation that was that I gave the signal, but When I saw it, I definitely felt the difference. Now, I'm going to go the less controversial way first of why my thoughts are, or what my thoughts are of why that took place the way that it did. So and I'm understanding this a lot more now that I own my own production company and have been just diving into different things and am working on my own reality show that my production company will be doing. I'm learning a lot more about the internal aspects of it. And one of the things that I've learned is when you do a reality show, there's a few things to know. One, it is the casting department's job and responsibility to pick out participants, characters, cast, whatever they want to label themselves, particularly people that are going to be controversial or people that may not get along with their personalities. You know that these personalities are going to clash, because in order for you to do a reality show, I know at least the one I did and some of the other ones that I've talked to people, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of psychological tests. You have to talk to a psychologist. There's a lot of personality things that they're trying to figure out. And they want to create a dynamic production. And so they want to get people that they know are going to clash or that are going to be controversial. The other thing that I've learned is when you are doing a show like a reality show is you really are typecast. I can't say this for all shows, but a lot of shows, they typecast. We want you to be the cocky athlete. We want you to be the crybaby. We want you to be the bitch. We want you to be the stuck up one. We want you to be the one that everybody underestimates, but you really are the strong one. I mean, they typecast. So when they do that, that's the footage that they show, and that's how they treat you. So part of my thought process is the reason why they made me look like, quote unquote, such a bother, and I'm the one that had the most to lose by volunteering to go on a show to bring awareness, is, you know what? We have to treat her like we're typecasting her. So we're typecasting her like she's a complainer. So we have to treat her like she's complaining to us, and it's for no good reason. And so we have to make sure that our narrative matches the narrative that we've tried to paint for her with the other participants, and with her illness or ailment or whatever you want to call it. So that's one food for thought, is that we just got to treat her that way. I definitely noticed the difference. I felt the difference, but it is what it is at the end of the day. Now, that's my less controversial answer to why I was treated that way. Another response: I agree that was unnecessary and rude how they treated her. I definitely agree. So with the more controversial reason of why, before I attack that, I want to start off by saying that growing up, I say growing up as a teenager, before I really had a chance to really experience life and ups and downs and trials and tribulations and adult-like problems, I used to hate when I felt like some people would always use race as an issue. I got arrested because I'm black. Well, no. You got arrested because you were stealing. Yes, you just happen to be black, but you were doing something that caused you to get arrested. You were committing a crime. So I say that to say I've never been one to always jump to the race aspect, because I felt like growing up and as a child that was a cop out. But then I grew up and I experienced life, and I experienced racism, and I experienced sexism, and I don't have the same beliefs. I do believe that there are some situations that happen strictly because of your race or your gender. I do believe that, and I'm a firm believer in that and have experienced that. I think in this case, I was in the first, we're going to talk about the first group of participants. I was a double minority. I was a woman and I was a black woman. So of all the women, I was treated the poor, well, let me see how I want to say that. I would say of the women, they wanted to paint me to be, have the worst reputation of all the women. That would be a better way to say it. So, and then of the African Americans, same thing. So I feel like part of me feels like it could have been, allegedly, a racial and sexual, as far as racism and sexism situation, because we have two people. We have one, a Caucasian woman, and then we have another one, a Caucasian male, that we can see on TV are treated differently. I don't want to jump to that conclusion, but that's how one of the thought process that I went through when I watched this. It was hurtful. I will admit it was very hurtful. But what I'm learning at the end of the day is I was the one that wanted to go in there and bring awareness and bring excitement to, let people know about autoimmune diseases and let the jail know the things that they need to do to help people like myself. That was something that I wanted to do. At the end of the day, when you are a production company and a casting company, sometimes the educational part is not entertaining and it doesn't capture your audience. And as a production company, casting company, and network, you know what your audience wants to see. And a lot of the times it's mess. And for me, I did not provide any natural mess. So because I didn't, I had manufactured mess. So hopefully, Jennifer Blake, those conversations, this is just strictly my perspective of why I was treated differently than Ashley and Alex when I gave the distress signal. And I am the one that went in there with a health condition. And not only did I go in there with the health condition, but because I had that health condition and the poor nutritional value and lack of celiac or gluten-free food, I end up developing another autoimmune disease for the world to see. It is what it is. I had the most to lose, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. And I'm very appreciative of the opportunity to even be able to share my story, even if it was skewed a little bit, to share my story and have people discuss my story and discuss their thoughts. So let me know what you guys think about it. If you're a fan of 60 Days In, you watched me on season 6 of 60 Days In. Do you think that when I gave the signal, was I treated differently than Ashley? Was I treated differently than Alex? Did they talk differently to me? Should I have been treated differently? Let's talk about it. All right. Until next time, I'll see you guys later. Stay safe, stay blessed, and have a great day, week, month, and year.
Thanks for listening to the Drama Queen Perspective. Be sure to like and subscribe this podcast and share with the drama queens in your life. Until next time, this has been the Drama Queen Perspective.